Hi, today is March 21st, 2026, and here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 440 for the year, Knowledge/Belief. I believe it was Twyla Tharp who said, "Art is the only way to run away without leaving home." Actually, I'm lying. I know it was Twyla Tharp who said that, because I saw the quote attributed to her writ large on the side of the Joyce Theater on 19th Street and 8th Avenue. Of course, in saying that I know it's true that Twyla Tharp said that, I am choosing to believe that whoever wrote that on the Joyce was not lying. But if I think about it more, I believe that often when I say I know, what I really mean is I believe I know. Poem number 441, It Would Have Been Good. It would have been good if Twyla Tharp and Cy Twombly had gotten married and hyphenated their names. It would have been especially good for Twyla Tharp-Twombly or Twyla Twombly-Tharp, and only moderately less good for Cy Twombly-Tharp or Cy Tharp-Twombly. Poem number 442, Presentation of the Self. He was tired of putting so much energy into how he presented himself. He understood that in theory it was important to try to control the way he came across to others, but he knew that not only deep down, but also even on the surface, he didn't give a shit. So he started to focus instead on grammar, syntax, and meaning, the substance of his words. Content and context became his key concerns. He immediately became far less popular, and in time, a pariah, until it finally occurred to him to change his mind. Poem number 443, The Recapitulation. She was minding her own business when suddenly ontogeny recapitulated phylogeny right there on the kitchen floor. A fertilized embryo, not hers, gestated and then hatched in much the same way that the creature's species had evolved over time. "I must write a paper immediately," she said, "and somebody owes Ernst Haeckel a big apology." Poem number 44. A poem is not a joke. I recognize that last poem may require some Googling in order for its point to be understood, but it's Saturday. If you can't Google and consult Wikipedia on a Saturday, then when can you? They say that if you have to explain the joke, then it's not funny. But a poem is not a joke, except when it is. Poem number 445, Ridiculous Dogs. The dogs were ridiculous, standing in that ridiculous way, ridiculously licking their balls, telling jokes, doing ridiculous dog dances, barking for the most ridiculous of reasons, ridiculously begging for food when they had just eaten, howling at the moon like the most ridiculous dogs you could ever imagine, playing poker and pretending like someone is painting their portrait. I tell you, they were ridiculous dogs. But there are worse things to be than to be ridiculous and to be a dog. And the last poem of the day, poem number 446, The Hat and the Cat. I once knew a cat who had swallowed a hat, then jumped in a vat of vanilla pudding, then burst into song with a voice near as strong as the main ingredient's Cuba gooding. Now there is a hat in the cat. I only hope it doesn't grow. The cat was cool and the world is cruel, and everybody plays the fool, you know. All right, that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you.